What is up, everybody? This is obviously a long video, as you can tell by the timestamp. This is going to be a full-blown trading session, and it is a great trading session because it displays all of the skills you need to have as a professional trader. I have problems in this session where I'm fighting around and then I finally get a good win. And not only do I get in a good win, the good win was not luck. It was something that I was stalking and I saw it start to set up. And you can hear me start to narrate this. So what you're seeing in this video is actually a narration episode from my website, fatcatsofwallstreet.com. I post my narrated sessions just like the one you're about to watch. Now, what I'm going to do is edit me explaining some things. And just to give you context, I believe the order flow and the ES is broken and it does not work. And I've made videos on this years ago on order flow is broken. And I've always speculated stocks have something to do with it. And I finally figured out a formula that has been working very well as of the last month. So the beginning of the video, I will be cutting up and explaining a Bitcoin DOM and showing you how the order flow moves on nothing. Basically, the DOM is moving up on nothing. It's because it is tracking the underlying asset. Now, the thing is, most traders don't really understand how NQ and ES actually operate. I do have some course modules here that explain it. Now, without further ado, a message from our sponsor, and then we'll jump right into the video.
This video is sponsored by Tradecraft. Create your tags, tag your trades, store your recordings, create screenshots, and look at your statistics. You have the ability to create statistics using several widgets. You're able to place them wherever you please, having a place where you can store all your playbook trades, and you can quickly flip through them, studying all your trades. Tradecraft is more than a journal. It is a tagging software that allows you to create the statistics you need, where you have the ability to filter your trades out on an extremely deep level, allowing you to figure out exactly where your edge might be. For more information, check out the link in the description of this video or visit tradecraft.club.
I got this Bitcoin DOM up. I want to record it a little bit. This is from the CME exchange, and I just want you guys to notice how it's moving up and down. You can see the spreads going up and down on zero order flow. You can see these, it is moving around quite a bit on no transactions. So the reason I'm sharing this, or why I want to show it, there's a contract that just came in right here at 30. The reason I'm showing this though is you can see that it's moving up and down a tick. It's going down like a point or so right here with no order flow at all. Nothing. It's just moving around on spreads pulling. So when we see this kind of movement, you have to ask yourself, why is it moving on no order flow? And that's because futures are not an asset, and that's straight from the CME's website. A little bit of order flow coming in right there. But it's Bitcoin's the actual asset. We can see it's going up, right? It traded here last and now it's pulled up. So all this is doing is arbitraging Bitcoin price. So the market makers are pulling and moving the spreads according to how Bitcoin is moving up and down. And if Bitcoin, if the market makers leave their limits there and don't pull them the way they're doing it here, then they will get picked off, meaning somebody could hit the market maker with a market order and essentially make money off of them. They would be posting what is called a stale quote. A stale quote is an order that just does not reflect the true value of the price. It's in the way. So if Bitcoin futures is moving around on not much order flow, no order flow a lot of the times, we can see there is some coming in. And it's tracking an actual asset, which is the Bitcoin itself. And you have to ask yourself, what about something like ES or NASDAQ? Now, ES and NQ, more so ES and NQ, give you this optical illusion as though there is order flow coming into the market. And there is. This is definitely real trading, 100% order flow, right? But the bids and offers are going to pull in ES because the ES is much like the Bitcoin futures arbitraging SPX, not the options, the SPX index. And the SPX index is the official ticker for the S&P 500, which has no order flow. Like you can't actually trade the SPX other than options, but options, much like futures, aren't an actual asset. So there's an illusion in the ES that it's moving based off of the ebbs and flows of its own order flow. And while that may be partially true, the ES or the SPX is what it's tracking. And no order flow trades the SPX. So unlike Bitcoin futures where it's arbitraging actual Bitcoin, ES is arbitraging SPX, but SPX has no volume, no order flow. SPX is simply a divisor, which is obviously comprised of 500 top performing stocks. And this divisor is obviously a math formula that gives out a suggested price of what holding all 500 would be. Now, holding all 500 is going to be based off of their weights as well. For example, Nvidia's weight, let me pull it up. Nvidia's weight is at 8%, which is pretty fucking high. So Nvidia accounts for 8% of the entire stock. Apple 6.48. Now typically people want to look at just the top 10, right? But that's not most of the weight of the index. This is what the weighting looks like with all 500 stocks. You can see Nvidia's down here, and then there's a little dot here. So between Nvidia and Apple, it's a huge jump, right? But you're only accounting for like 41% of the weight. So in my opinion, it's just not enough. So if you're going to be looking at ES and trading something like this, you need to understand the stocks and the weightings of the stocks. So even though like Nvidia, yes, it has an 8% control over the portfolio, that's 8%. That's not more than 51%. So therefore, a bunch of other stocks could be doing other shit. And if you look at just Nvidia, you'll see it moving a lot, and then ES or NQ is not reflecting that move because it's only 8%, right? So the weighting, in my opinion, is very important because Nvidia can have these massive order flow events or what have you, and yes, that is affecting things, but you can only account for 8%. Now the weighting changes throughout the day, and a lot of people kind of look at things from the perspective of, I'll just look at the top 10 of these stocks. But the thing is with the top 10, their order flow events will be doing different things. Like, for example, my theory is, let's look at the top 33 stocks. That's 57% of the SPX weight. And you can see the weighting is up here. Well, there's always going to be longs and shorts at any given time. So you're never going to be stroking out to where you have 100% long or short across all of the different stocks all at once. I'm not saying that. So we can see there's a 38% weight to the short side versus 21% weight to the long side. And our delta between them currently is, at this point in time, is about 1 or 7. So we're basically, between all these stocks, we're dead even. Almost. So we're not seeing significant weight, maybe 15%, 19% to the sell side, but that's still less than 50%. You have to look at this like the GameStop deal. Back when a hedge fund was shorting GameStop, and then a bunch of retail traders came in and they jammed the market up, squeezing out the hedge fund. When you're looking at these stock weights, you're going to be looking at these, usually people are looking at these heavy weighted stocks. And they're gonna ignore this shit, like the 0.10%, the 0.7%, the 0.3%. But you got to look at all this shit like it's retail trading, because if you have enough of these 0.1s and 2s and all that shit pushing in the opposite direction of the top 10, then you'll see the top 10 moving up, but the ES is not moving. Now I am kind of waiting for shit to set up. But I just want to give that example because you'll see the DOM, like, you're just getting movements in NQ and ES that you're not going to be able to read in ES. It's impossible to read in the ES and NQ order flow alone. It's good to look at. It's good to look at it as well, but that order flow alone is just not capturing the true. It's not capturing the picture of what's really happening. Now, ES is obviously not an asset, and if you want to buy or if you want to invest in the SP 500, the S&P 500, everybody tells you to buy an ETF. They never tell you to buy a futures contract. And if you were to look at the SPX price next to the ES, they would be priced in two different spots. They would not have the same exact pricing. And when rollover comes and ES is got a fresh contract, the price difference between the SPX and the ES is a lot larger. And as expiration for the futures contract comes in, hold on, we do want to watch this. I need to pull up an actual full-blown chart, see what's happening for the day. Okay. So, yeah, the price is different. It gets tighter as the ES gets closer to expiration. So, and that's because it's a future contract. So this is the reason there's a big spread, is because the future of the S&P 500 is sort of being forecasted. I do like what's going on here. I would be long biased, but I'm going to wait. Now, you buy and invest in ETFs, and ETFs are actual assets because those ETF units, you're buying an ETF unit, which is the basket of stocks in the S&P 500, and the market makers have to actually transact by what they do is they go buy basket of stock and they get turned into these ETF units. So you're actually buying the stocks when you get an ETF unit. Now what we want to do is that's going to just keep going up or whatever. I need to update this shit. I do want to look at the structure on my top 33. Now ultimately I would love to be in a position where I get the entire weighting to come in, which is going to be a motherfucker of a project, but it can be done. So we're kind of looking at structure at this point. Now this current method is I'm running weight off of the volume that is coming into the market on a 15-minute chart. So I am looking at higher time frame weight shifts in the stock market. So, I'm looking at the volume, the actual delta to price action relationship to try to figure out if we're going up or down, and then it's calculated like the weighting of the specific stock. Like this is 79.83 here. If it's long or short, it's being rotated into the long or short bucket. I look at a divergence based off of a buying price action and selling delta. The freshest bar is, in my opinion, a long signal, or buying price action and buying delta is also long as well. So we're looking at a volume weight, but I'm also looking at structure as well. So looking at the individual structures of these 33 stocks, and their weight will go into a volume bucket. So we're looking at the volume, but if they have structure like a range or a trend, right? You want to buy trends that are going up, and you want to buy the bottom of a range. Those two would get added together, and then if there's long volume, you would add that together as well. So there's a structure score and a volume score. So this one, AMD's 1.11, so it has the potential to have two scores, one based off structure long and one based off structure short or whatever, neutral, and then another one based off of its volume. So each one of these stocks, in my opinion, can get counted twice based off their weightings. Now, doing this method has proven to be highly predictable in the longer term trades. It's not like it's easy to execute or pull off. It's not. It's definitely like a learning curve with it that I'm still trying to figure out. But this has been the most reliable thing I've had probably ever to gain longer term predictability across the marketplace. So I'm just drawing these ranges, and it's spitting out a green score saying this is in a buy structure, this is buy structure, sell structure, sell structure, sell volume. So just really looking for these like ranges and shit on a 15-minute chart. Now, I could look at a lower time frame, but I noticed the weighting and shit, it's just moving so rapidly. It's very hard to derive information off of that shit. And higher time frame analysis has proven itself very worthy of attempting to, very worthy of understanding the what could be happening over the course of the longer term. Even if I don't look at stocks, okay? Even a higher time frame ES chart proves itself very worthy. So we are definitely in a longer... So this glow is coming off of the weighting moving around from the stocks. Hotter green is like more buying. Hotter red is more selling. So we can see there was a lot of green here, and then we blew through that. So most of the stocks in this area were buying. Now this wave of buying here got above this pool of high buying. Now we can see that a lot of red and green can fade the market back in. However, and I'll explain. Let me watch it. So this is a 15-minute chart, so this weighting's coming in really slow, and it's my belief that since you're looking at a higher time frame volume shift, it's slower. So if you watch it carefully, you can see it drift. It has a weighty feel to it, like a ship trying to stop. If a ship tries to turn its engines off, it's going to keep going straight for quite a few miles. So with the higher time frame and the volume, you're going to see that. Now we can see up here we have like 50 and 49 on the volume in the buying section. This column is the same as this over here. It's just giving us the more up-to-date, more precise reading of the weights, which again is the delta difference between longs and shorts. So it does, as you know, ES moves in waves, so we want to wait. I thought I nailed it good there, but might have not nailed it too too nicely. Take a 4-tick loss. I'm gonna let it pull down a little bit. Let it come back. Watch her very carefully here. Oh, she's somebody put a big ass offer up there, which did cause it to fucking skits out a little bit. And we can see she's really pushing up. Got a nice little win there. Obviously, we had that little loss. I need to get a little more in tune with it, up 187.50. Need to be a little more like, this is where like other techniques come in. Okay. So she's pushing in there. I do believe there's more upside. I probably should have held it, to be honest with you. Just a little skittish. So we can see this doesn't have that real hot glow it did over here. So as we're bumping up in here, our buy weighting is like tapering. Now I do believe there's more upside potential for sure, but we want to like just observe. So we're gonna go into our tooling over here, which we obviously know this is stocks. The arrows don't mean sell or buy. Those are just low noted traded areas. That's places where the time and sales came in real thin, basically. This column over here, down these 10 on the right are delta legs. And it goes from short term to long term, and it moves up in phases. So basically, as the market goes up, it's showing us the delta leg on the up move. But this up move here on the left would be more reflected here on the right. So that's the delta leg of this up move. Whereas this column here, the more left one, is going to be more so reflecting the micro movements of the legs. Now, I wouldn't say they're like they're not really amazing. Just it's really coming from here, the stocks. So we can see there's a big red block in here. We want to see if it'll hold or if they push it down. There's 313 that was down there. So this red block is not pushing down as far as it's not hitting the bottom. And down here, these two red streaks are not being taken out. So therefore, I got long at 9. Now, it may come in. It may come back. I mean, the fucking shit always comes back, usually. But there seems to be microstructure up here. We got that long. Take it off. We're at 687. Should have held it. I'm just a bit skittish. But in this red streak area, it kept stalling two rows above. So there is a technique where that the problem with buying and selling in ES is like sometimes the buyers can hold the market up. Sometimes it can hold it down. If they're holding it down, that means passive sellers are in control. So order flow in just this ES is very devious in that regard. But the same thing is going to be happening over here in the stocks as well. However, since we're pulling 15-minute time framing off the stocks, you're getting a more slow movement of the order flow coming in and out. So you're able to sort of like and it's different too. It's like it's glowing based off weighting, not necessarily like how much it has reloaded. Not like what you're seeing on the tool to the right, or you're like, oh, there's 300 or 400, which I don't think really matters in ES. Like when you're seeing a high contract sizing, I don't think it matters personally that much, because somebody's on the other side of that. Another large trader is always on the other side of that high reload. And it could be hedge funds transacting, so what does it matter what they're doing, because they're willing to take more heat than you think. And you don't know if it's open or closed interest. And even if somebody's opening positions, like, are they hedged somewhere else? You know, like how are they offsetting the risk they're taking? They're most likely not taking a pure directional play like you would be. With the stock weighting, though, we're seeing where most of the volume is coming in based off of weight. Where are there high concentration? Where's the weight of the stocks flowing? Now, see how there was a big pocket of buying here and there's a pocket of buying here that is very high glow? Since it's in an uptrend, we want to go in an uptrend. But we can see there's a high red glow here, a little bit there. But if they start to transact below that a little bit, we can assume that the market will collapse back in. Currently, we're slip ranging up in this area. So they're also not like, we're not getting this intense buying. Like the buying and selling keep flip-flopping. Buying, selling, and then we just haven't seen that hardcore fucking buying we saw back here in stocks. Now the problem is I don't have the entire index. I don't have the entire stock index, and as I was explaining earlier, that's important. Like if you're not looking at every stock, then you're not looking at the entire index. Like it's like if you're gonna just look at the top 10, there are ETFs that are just like the top 10, but there's no futures product on those types of ETFs that I'm aware of. So we can see there was a brief moment of hardcore buying. 32 by 36 is starting to pick up a little bit. Now, this hardcore buying is happening kind of below where it happened over there. Now, when you're seeing this hardcore buying and selling coming in, you can assume that stocks have reloaded that shit, hence why it pivoted. This is a majorly low noted area on the time and sales, but there's both sides, and they just swept it. But those types of trading, those types of areas have a time and place, and that's usually closer to the open. So we can see there's a big blue block in here. They are definitely been bouncing on the upper half of it. It just eroded. It went red. Oh, we can see that hardcore buying is kicking in. We're coming back into the slip range up here, but we can see it's coming in on high buying. There's a big ass blue block above us. They did blitz this blue block right here, so we can assume that they will blitz that upper section, but you're merely speculating, because in the end there is an element of luck on every fucking thing you're doing. So it'd be about 1250 or so. Oh, she zipped it. I picked up 2 ticks. I went to get out up there on 13, but it like rolled in or whatever, didn't get to the front of the queue. So it's like putting the techniques together. Now, I do want to address, we're at 887.50. Do want to address something, but let me watch this for a moment. So they did dump it. So they're slipping in this section. And our delta legs are rotating their blocks. So it was all blue in here when I went long, and now we can see it's like chopped. They see how it went blue block and then jumped. There's a good chance there might be more of a jump up. It's at the top of the structure, and I'm not too happy about trying to trade something like that. But it could jump. So now you're starting to get that real powerful buying that was not present here. There's more of the jump. They're fucking edging this shit hardcore. I like it. We want to just wait though, because the price action comes in waves. You want to make sure you're trying to nail the waves and the reclaims and all that fucking shit correctly. Just waiting. See, this red block here keeps pushing low. She may jump down to the 1050s. I just want to wait. I just feel it just doesn't feel totally amazing. They're pushing up into that blue block. This is one of those areas where I think it could jump either fucking way. I don't want to get involved. It's not pinning out the red or the blue. It's flirting in between. It's not testing this lower chunk or up here. So she's knocking out the red block. Right, so we need to be careful though, because looking into the stocks, there is a huge element of slop where it's not precision entry. So they rolled that red block, they might roll this red block. They might roll the rest of this red block. Oh, hello. So they just jumped that blue block. She's still willing to rip low. Didn't fully stroke out that upper section the way I would want it to have been done. I may have made a premature speculation there. Big ass blue block here. We have to watch it very carefully. They are jumping it. There's the 1050s are up there. They're not fully committing to it. There they go. Now they're committing a bit. So the thing is, that went against me by quite a bit. I wanted to exit because there might be a wave there, but let's just see how she rolls. Managed to get a point or so. Definitely some risk there. I was taken on. Yeah, she's rolling low. You got to be careful because when the market goes against you so much, there's a high likelihood that if it does come back to you, it's not going to really run that much further in your favor. We want to watch it carefully. We want to see if they revisit this red glow. So these high glowed out areas tend to get revisited at times. She's jumping blue blocks now. A little bit, but that red also pulling back in. It just seems a little too floaty. It doesn't seem like we have full commitment to the long side yet, even though we did hurdle a blue block. Yeah, pull back. It's really looking pretty short biased. You got this huge chunk. We'll see though. So if I play my cards right, I should be able to hit a low node section, which there is a bit of a low node section right above us. But she ain't jumping it, which is not fucking amazing. Take a break even. It's a little jammed up. I don't really like that. Ah, there she goes. She jumped it. It was getting a little jammed. That's not good to see. When you're running these low node arrows, you want to make sure you have like this consistent momentum, and when it jams up, it's not good to play those. So she's slip ranging. Was right on the direction for sure, but this blue block is definitely fucking holding. They just let it go a bit. So what exactly is happening in here? That's a tough. There is a little bit of a well, I did get that. I didn't get the full extent of that move because it jumped and immediately came back in. So we did get a chunk of it to jump the blue blocks, and there was the low node arrows because the blue blocks were holding. See, this is a high buy area, but what I don't like is we're not, and I do believe there might be more long side. We are kind of flat. There's a good chance it could jam through, but blue block. You got to be careful though. We are in a very slip rangey environment overall. See this? It's trying to jump it, and it's not like revisiting the very low at 13. So, in my opinion, they're revisiting it. Never good to see that. Take a loss. Just stay out of it for a moment. High-low node cluster. We're still pinning the low end of this. Seems to be pretty weak. A bunch of high selling is coming in. Watching it very, very fucking carefully. There definitely seems to be a game being played in here. Just a big sell right there. Big fucking sell. Right? Want to watch these 400s down there. She's rolling a bit lower. Right there would probably have been a good entry, honestly. Fours for a long potential. I know there's a lot of selling going on, but most of our dwell had been on the long side up in that pool. Now committing to a position like a hold, you're not going to be able to scalp your way in. And if you can, I haven't figured that out. There's definitely going to be heat on a position. 1,000 buy at 575 pushes the market up. That guy gets knocked. As I said, they would most likely revisit this red area, which they did. Definitely a rowdy area. Like 100% rowdy. So this is kind of pulling a pattern that I don't like to see. For a long. It's getting this hot glow, but it's kind of going lower highs and lower lows. We're still kind of next to this area, so we haven't surpassed that prior area, which I do like. I did mention earlier it might pull right into this section, which it is. Ideally, this would have been a good go at it. I mean, you can't really... You still need patience no matter what. She seems very slip laden to the upside. We can see that. There's 1,000 lots above us at 9 even, which is fucking interesting. Seeing how we saw that guy get filled on the buy side below us. I don't know what exactly is going to happen up there. They're running towards him. So see how this is starting to surpass the you had this sort of like downtrend deal here. They're starting to pop back up into it, like above a little bit. I like seeing that. I mean, this is a massive amount of red glow. But in the grand scheme of things, it's still in an uptrend, in my opinion. So trading this like thesis until some structure changes. Like just having that directional thesis. But there are signs about this that I don't totally love. There's definitely a massive fucking all these green arrows. A very low taped area, but we'll see. If it's gonna stroke into it, it'll stroke into it. It may not. It may just chip it out. Just not the session where that's to be relied on heavily at all. I mean, this area is fucking hot. But man, when she jumps up, when this market jumps up, it rug pulls its way up. You can just feel it. There they go. They knocked out this 900 lot at 10s. You have this hot glow up here in the 12s that have not been blown out. Not sure if they will completely blow it out or what the fuck the deal is here. A little concerned about this being a hot red area down here, but we're still in an uptrend over the bigger picture. But just this kind of moment here is where I'm like, what could it do here? Could be pivotal, but I want to lean into the thesis. So she's tailing out up here, which is... I think this could really go either way, to tell you the fucking truth. Just a real moment of uncertainty, no clarity. See it on the cumulative delta, big selling, and then the buying came in. That's from the 1,000. That guy that bought 1,000 sold 1,000 or whatever. But somebody was on the other side of that trade, right? So thing is, there are these games being played on the very smallest of time frames, so the market is going to ebb and flow in ways to absolutely psychologically fuck people. It is designed to do that. It is designed to blow out positions to reverse. So the fucking worst thing is when you're right about something, but there was a bunch of fucking shit that happened that you didn't expect. And you get washed out of your thesis, and then it ends up fucking working. Just sort of, she's tapering as she comes in. It's still like quite a bit of sell delta, but these 41s aren't really manifesting. Evidently there's large traders moving around, which is causing it to bump up and down very aggressively, fucking all these swings and shit. Gnarly fucking pullback. See, I was a little nervous that that might happen. Again, rugging upward. Right? That's just kind of, those can be kind of like elusive to read, esoteric in a way. Like sometimes the rug ups are to bait in longs to fucking stop them low. But most times they do that shit. It's just showing a sign of weakness on the upper end of it. It's hard to really figure out. We're kind of like setting up in a range, so it could go either way in my opinion. Right. But also, you know, I do believe there's a lot of this predatory shit going on the smallest of time frames, but also part of that is being influenced by these very large traders operating in here, and their intention is not to like necessarily fuck with small time participants. They need to cut and hide their orders and carefully build positions. And again, I already stated that they could be hedging. They may be open interest, closed interest. They're not really going to be scalping like we are trying to do, or nail a very directional deal when they're buying hundreds of contracts and shit. So part of the gyrations we experience in here is the large traders fucking moving shit around, which does trigger HFTs and shit in some ways. I think this is like a prime example of you're never going to scalp your way into a hold. It's so difficult. You can at times, but like, dude, every price gets like drugged through the fucking mud and absolutely molested before there's actually a meaningful move. And by the time you see the meaningful move go, it's already too fucking late. You have to be posturing in this shit before it happens. It's just fucking can be difficult. Right up there in those 1412s, we know there's a massive pocket of weight. There's a huge pocket of weight. Definitely some liquidity above us, 11s and 12s here. Which they have not been shy about knocking those guys. Right. Again, these are high time frame deltas. So it's like trying to walk with a water in like a rectangular shaped piece of Tupperware. It's going to slosh from left to right. There's 19,000 or 1900x 16 even up there. I saw it peaking. So there's a huge pool of liquidity in the 16s. And we know the market is not shy about hitting liquidity. We've already seen consecutive 1,000 lots get hit. So we know the market is not, and we just hit a couple hundred down there in the 11s or whatever. So we know the market is not shy about taking it today on either side. Right. I'm not sure what has been happening like on a macro news cycle, but it seems as though the market wants it's a lot of movement. So we can see she is pulling back very deep right here. Kind of shit's gonna happen. See, the thing about like trying to hold a trade or some shit is you have to expect the unexpected. You have to prepare yourself mentally for pullbacks and movement that just seems very like scary, and you're like, oh my fucking god, it's like, oh shit, they're gonna dump it. But typically when you chase a move like that, if I was to short that, I'd be getting fucked up right now, right? The market is designed to put in this choppiness, which baits people on greed and fear. These choppy runs where it looks like it's trending, it looks like it's going to go in this direction. Is often a bait and switch, because it brings in flow to assist the smarter traders to achieve what they need to do, because in the end somebody needs to get fucked for somebody else to get paid. I think we're in a very interesting area overall. The glow up there was not as hot as I would have loved to seen it. Right up in the 12s. I would have liked to see it start banging in a lot hotter of a glow. Still, she has that ruggy move up. Like, it's almost like when it goes up, it's just like there's no fucking offers, and it fucking bidets its way up. Versus these down moves that kind of roll. And you can only get that from looking at a DOM, that feel. Can't really get that from anything else. Just watch her very carefully. We can potentially watch the blocks. But I'm more interested, this over here is where I'm really been focusing a lot of attention here and then this section. Now the thing is, what a lot of retail traders fuck up is, like, if you're willing to commit to holding a loser for fucking ages, when a trade is winning, you also need that same level of commitment. Which I can assure you that psychologically speaking is very difficult for nearly every retail trader. I think we're in a very interesting area. I do want to pay attention to how is it setting itself up. I say expect the unexpected, but sometimes it starts to give you signs that look how tight she is right here in this center section. It's fucking straight up starting to pull a fucking like pennant. Now we know 16s have a massive fucking pool of liquidity. And what's interesting about those pools of liquidity and shit like that are just like stagnantly sitting there on days like this, it's called the it's almost like the market sniffs those areas out, but it won't go into them right away. It'll continue to collapse before you get into that pool. And this is almost like it's harvesting positions and stuff before that pool gets executed. It's like it's sniffing it. I do have a module on Fat Cats of Wall Street about HFTs smelling out shit like that and pulling off before it goes in. You should never ever assume a pool of liquidity is going to get fucking hit. When you had like there's times where you can feel it that, yeah, it might definitely get hit, but yeah, I mean, there can be many times and circumstances where it gets very close, multiple fucking times, and just pukes right off of it. See, this shit is fucking tripping me out a little bit. You're starting to get a hot red glow here coming in. That looks very fresh too. It's tapering a little bit. Yeah, right on the twos. And she's still a tick above this area, but we might get a nasty run low. There is a pool right below us in the quads. Just like that. So did take a loss. I've taken 2 losses. I'm up 625. So my long didn't work out. I recognize that. I bailed the position. You know, we're down 625, which isn't so bad. We want to watch this very fucking carefully. She's peaking the lower end of the spectrum. Watch her very fucking carefully, dudes. She's pulling a nasty little flat bottom there. You know what? definitely, this is actually fucking below this. I just caught that. Should have been paying closer attention to that. Should have fucking caught that. I should have fucking realized that. I didn't. Mistakes were made because I didn't see how this block is down below here. We want to assume this is a nice looking range too. Like this is a reclaim assisted breakout almost. Obviously she's fucking pulling her ass right back the fuck up. We can see that for sure. Man, it's got that fucking offers or pulling type of fucking price action. So earlier I talked about, you know, it just kept ripping upward, ripping upward, ripping upward. And then I'm like, well, you know, it could go either way. Like they're baiting in longs to fucking slam them out ultimately. That's what it looks like they fucking did. This blue block right above us is having a hard time fucking keeping that shit on the lower end of the spectrum. I don't like how this is sort of curling its assward up, but it is what it is. Another massive fucking pool down here in the 90s. She's definitely chipping out towards those 90s. Keep our eye on her. See how just like it rips back up, man, while it's ultimately going down. That shit is just like a very difficult psychologically to like handle. Like it creates like these reactionary feelings internally. See how it's like it looks like it wants to go up. Like it has that look and feel like it wants to go up right there in those 96s, and then look, it pukes. Got a little bit of pool of liquidity in the 90s. But do you see how at 96 and shit it looked like it was going to try to jump upward, and now it's dumping all the way to fuck down here more than 5 points? I mean, that's like, you have to understand the psychological game of the price action. You cannot react to it. It is designed to get you to react to that bullshit. Those are your 90s. So right here, this hot pool right there in the 84-ish, that's, I'm looking in that area a little bit. She's almost there too. Gotta be careful though. That's a massive little rug pull up. See, it jumped up into the 90s. She's rugging up a lot. Like, that's a nasty rug. So we'll take it off right there. We picked up 3,100. We're up 47 before commission. Unfortunately, I made $1,000 mistake. Otherwise, we would be up a little bit higher. Oh, there she goes in the 85. Should have held it. Should have fucking held it. Right, but part of me wanted to bankroll that a bit. At least I'm up a little bit. I'm up $14. Kind of sucks, but you know, whatever. This is where ideally I should have pushed it. Because if I pushed it here, I would have been done with the session. Like, my thesis of this upper area busting did not fucking play out, so naturally that's just causes some form of damage. Now we want to carefully watch this pivot over here. We need to ask ourselves, can she get below that? We're going to assume yes, but we're going to also wait. Seeing that bullshit I was telling you it did it at 90, where it was like ripping up in the 90. I'm like, I kind of fell for it. The bullshit. No, I do believe it has the ability to rip straight the fuck up. I mean, if we look here, from when I was trading all the way up in this section to here, it has had those singular, like a giant singular move. So it does have the ability to fucking jump. So if we're very patient and we wait, and we see what happens at this low pivot, we want to see if it starts to get below it. Now, I'm not going to short it, but if it starts to get below it, which is the 82s or whatever, and it is, we can assume that it'll continue to run low. There she is, rugging her way upward. Now, if we're very patient, it'll talk to us. See, and one of the biggest mistakes I could make is trying to like get short again and be like, whoa, there's more. right? If you get out of the position prematurely, do not rejoin it. She's definitely pushing upward pretty hard. Staying focused. We can see her. Just it's kind of like it's not. I mean, it's still really highly short. We do need to check. We should do a stock check though. Right. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot that has happened since my last stock check, so we do want to start making adjustments. A lot of them are obviously puking low. Which I will do this, just put on an aggressive trend line. This is kind of getting a lot of weird. Well, a lot of this has been adjusted. This does need to be I need to be staying on top of it. You know. This is going to drastically change a lot of what I need to be looking at. They kind of all, like, a lot of them are... You're getting a lot of fucking pukes. Except for Coca-Cola, man. I don't know. Coca-Cola seems to be a very stable stock at times. Just some patience. See, we don't want to be looking at this from the perspective of, oh fuck, I coulda fucking held it or whatever. Right? We need to look at it from the perspective of, I need to look for a setup. This is definitely one of the fatter pullbacks we've seen. For sure. A huge block above us. She's hitting it. We don't buy that though. Bit of a pullback. She's jumping her block. Just need patience. Certainly interested in a long. But not here. Now we're starting to see a little bit of shift. Starting to see a little bit of a shift up there. Starting to see some high buying 30s. Keep watching her carefully. More high buying. It's a little bit above of where it was. Here to here. There might be another little leg. We'll see. Definitely a little bit of a nasty stall up here. Pull 2 ticks long. We're just going to be patient. It could just keep ripping up. I don't give a fuck. We're going to just be patient. I want to see her pull back. It can keep running up a little bit like this, but I want to just like wait, because there still could be a hard collapse. So it does have the signs of a long, but it's not that good in my opinion. Like, it hasn't baked in the oven long enough. That hot glow up here, like that. All that hot glow. See how she's stalling there? We pick up another tick. Like, that needs to go. Oh, short in there. 787 before commission, which isn't, you know, we're up like a little bit. Just fine. That thing needs a fucking puke. Like, the problem is this is such a stretched down move that if I'm wrong on that, it's going to pull back up on me. I do have a... It feels as though it could collapse, but man, I'm not going to sit in that fucking stall. And I am kind of trading around a premature area that I would want to hold. It's not ready yet, and if it's not quite there yet, I'm just going to be quick about it. That's where the scalping is going to come in a little bit. It'll talk to us. It'll let us know. See how it's pulling up real hard? Good thing I got out of there. Right. Just hasn't quite baked. Fully, not yet. Take another 2 ticks out of it on the short side. I want fast momentum. Like, if I'm going to go for that breakout, it needs to go. This is not like, let's fuck around and find out type of shit. You're going. And if you're not going, I'm taking what I can get. Which is nice because we're kind of getting bankrolled up a little bit. Kind of 18 trades in, which is a lot. We're up 421. Like, in my opinion, we're definitely in downtrend territory. But this is a big sweeping range. And if you're just like going for a breakout and you're wrong on this, you're just going to take a massive hit. Just patience across the board. See, it might stroke a low, but I'm going to wait. Because I don't have total fucking clarity. There's a lot of selling coming in. We want to check. Visa's going upward. Chevron ripping up. Very high short side. She's grinding her way. She's grinding her ass back down. She's fine. Problem is her rug pulls upward are so intense, you know? That's the biggest pullback we've seen. So it's really hard to understand what that might lead to. And overall, I know the session's in a fucking downtrend, but when you're having pullbacks that are like 87 ticks. That can be unsurvivable if you hit this shit in the wrong place. Notice how we kind of have this going on very high sell side, but sometimes she'll pull a pennant here. And if that happens, we want to pay very close attention. Now what's interesting is you are starting to get a high buy glow here, 24. It is coming below this section. But it's not good enough. It's just like I need to see a lot more. high glow, but this high glow is below this high glow. Okay. I got a partial fill at 86. So we'll take it off there. It was a 5 lot. Short. So that was a nice little trade. Would have been nice to have that on some full size because we would have. So we're up 964.12. So we're doing good. We're in there. Right. So the thing is, again, this is short-sighted right here. This cluster of buying being below this cluster of buying is short-sighted. Okay, so this is sort of a sign of a potential continuation. I mean, 100%. I don't want to short that. There's a pool of liquidity below us, but it looks like it's there. I'm waiting for my fucking. I'm still patiently waiting for my fucking position I want to lock into. Look at her pulling real hard off that liquidity pool in the 75s. That's why you don't short that. It's just a very stringy market. Right. There might be some continuation low here, but I don't personally want it. I want my creme de la creme, so I'm waiting for that. Which I don't think is going to set up. It could, and it's almost there. But it's just, to me, just looking like it's just continuation low, and I don't really want to play that game right now. Yeah, see how it's like ripping back up? She just still has that very large amount of selling going on. Seeing if there's any adjustments that need to get done, and I don't see shit. She ain't throwing she's not throwing that continuation low that I'm looking for. Fucking snapping and dicking around a lot. She did throw in a bit of a continuation. I felt as though I should have scalped it. But I mean, the bigger picture's like it's down, man, to tell you the truth. The problem is these fucking jukes, these like jerky fucking pullbacks and shit are just extraordinarily hard to fucking pinpoint and nail. You're getting some more buying coming in, just a little bit. Briefly showing face. Right. I can see it. Look at that slam. Watch that slam. There it is. You big fucking... There's a big pool of liquidity down here, and it is breaching it slightly. She's working her way in a little bit. See, in my hands, like in my mind, it's like, oh my god, I want this profit, I want this profit, I want this profit, I want this profit. But if you're going to let a trade push against you, you need to be willing to let it work for you. Again, that is a problem most retail traders, if not all of them, suffer with. I can almost guarantee it. We need to watch her very fucking carefully here. Very, 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 very carefully. Look at this buying coming up above this buying here. Let's see if she hits the upper echelons of this. If it can bang into that 87.25 and hit above that, I think we got ourselves a fucking... some fucking crazy run potentially setting. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yep. I got that, dudes. I got that fucking trade for 7 fucking K. 7 fucking K. There you go. That right there was some professional fucking trading, right? Whoever the fuck was watching this, whoever watched this, by the way, just so you know, whoever watched this, you're probably like, oh, look at Fat Cat. He's having some fucking problems. Look at this shit. Now, this is what it looks like. This is what legitimate fucking professional trading looks like. Okay? It doesn't look the way you think it does. This right here, this right here, this is how it's done. This is how it's fucking done. Right there. 96 ticks on the run. 51 seconds. Look, see right here, buying. Look, I get short in here, right? And I was willing, I could have pulled 14 ticks off of it at its max, okay? But I didn't let that dissuade me. Fuck it. I'll take a loss on it. I'll go back into the hole and lose 1,800. And then as soon as she started coming above this green area, I flip it because to me there was weight shifts going on. And then I come out way higher than I've been all session. Now, what was the exit at? 475? Hell, we hit 20s, but You know what? Probably it does. But I guess, so I was going to say there is, there's some things I want to say. Like, so the way I'm looking at my screens and shit, they look different. You'll see a lot of shifting in the way I'm analyzing stuff, right? I learned how to vibe code. I made my own shit. Like, I'm finally have the freedom and the ability to make what the fuck I want, when I want, how I want, right? Instead of conveying it to some sort of engineer. Now, the thing is, the core principle of the trading is still the same. You got to watch the reclaims. You got to watch your ranges. You got to watch your structure. You got to watch the DOM dance. You got to watch all the same shit that I always have watched. The difference is repackaging the order flow to be able to see it from angles that I could not see had I used have I used just a standardized delta indicator or whatever I was using. There's so much experimentation I want to do in order to truly nail down what the fuck is going on in the markets. And ideally, if I can get out of scalping and not scalp anymore, I much prefer that. I much prefer that. Okay. So as I stated at the beginning of this stream, the methodology and system I've been running for a few weeks has been yielding the best long-term holds that I've been able to get in my entire career. Now, I did make mistakes. There were several mistakes made. There was an unnecessary 1K loss. And then there was a really good short I postured into that I cut a bit too early to bankroll. The session would have been done then. I can tell you the P&L, had I done that, not been as high as it was here. But I waited for my creme de la creme, which it set up, and nailed it. We saw the predatory sniffing of liquidity pools. We saw how they juke it up to make it look like it's going to go up, and then they slam it down to trick people. That makes a very uncomfortable trade when you get into entries and it goes against you, or it's it keeps coming back to you, right? We saw the psychological ability to sit through that bumping up and down around my trades, the contentment with taking the losses, and ultimately we saw aggressive trading, probing, scalping, trying to hit momentum. We saw how trades went without us, and we didn't go, oh, I should have held it, nor did I rejoin. When we were wrong. We got the fuck out. And in my opinion, this entire session, this is what trading looks like. And I encourage anybody, because this will be on public YouTube, by the way, I encourage anybody who's watched this to watch it one more time, because I know that you were probably squeamish watching it, or you were probably passing some form of judgment about what I was doing. You know what I mean? Or some sort of keyboard warrior input. Okay. But look what I did. Very confident, knew what I wanted, traded, you trade a narrative until proven wrong. And on my second to last trade, I was proven wrong. But it set up my creme de la creme, which it finally worked. Also, if you're getting into holds, you're going to just naturally take more losses than you will wins. So that's just it. Cannot scalp your way into a hold without it fucking around on your entry. Also, in the beginning of this video, I was talking about how, the Bitcoin DOM and the order flow coming from your ES, because a lot of new traders are like, how do you read the order flow? And it's like, well, if you're trading in NQ or ES, you need to look at the fucking stocks. Like, my trading decisions were coming from this chart on the left for the most part, okay? I think this shit matters, but I also have to be in the mood to be scalping. If you're just not in that mood to get in there and focus deeply and to zone in on every little thing, the level of performance it takes to lock in and scalp really well is very intense. I would say holding a trade is also, I wouldn't say it's not as intense as it is patience. It's more patience, but you're also going to kind of experience psychological shit that you don't experience from scalping. So it's the juking and jerking. It's the predatory dancing of the market to make you think something is going to happen. And you guys fall for that shit all the fucking time. You do. Oh, it's going to go up. Oh, it's going to go down. And you're calling it on moves. But the real thing is like knowing what's going to happen or attempting to figure out what's going to happen before the move. Once you start experiencing moves, it's already too fucking late. So I would say that this specific session there's a lot of lessons here. And I think my performance was not, there's always critiques and criticisms. There are things I know I could have done and finessed better. Okay. I get it. But every one of you is going to make the same exact fucking mistakes. You're going to fumble fuck the ball. And if you just hang in there, and fight the fight to the best of your abilities, tapping into everything you know that you should be doing, your patience, hold the fucking winners, right? Just like you would hold a loser. Oh, I hope it turns around. I hope it turns around. I know that's a problem for most of you. I can tell you through statistics and shit that most traders holding winners cut them way too fucking soon compared to their losers. That I can almost guarantee is what is crippling most of you. It's a different story when you're scalping. When you're scalping, that is a whole different game, but when it comes to the holding, and when you're gonna hold, you're just gonna take fucking losses. At this point, I am sort of repeating some shit, but repetition is the mother of all skill. The ability to achieve this level of performance, nearly a decade trading this product at this point, come October, just repetition, same mistakes, learning. And people often don't want to listen to me talk and say the same shit over and over, but that's what it takes to get good at it, Why the fuck do some of the greatest athletes do the most basic drills and exercises when they're at the top of their fucking game, right? Repetition. Okay, the market is designed in a way, the architecture of how it ebbs and flows and moves is designed to fuck with you. It understands retail psychology, and it takes complete full advantage of that, in my opinion. And you guys continuously fall victim to it. So, also just understanding the product. That was the beginning of this video. If you are trading a fucking index and you're not in tune with the stocks, you are consuming not even half, you're consuming a fraction of information that is extraordinarily important.